A robot folds a shirt, pours a coffee, does a backflip. The internet decides the future has arrived, or hasn't. For 3 years, that's how we've measured progress in humanoid robotics. One perfect take, cut and lit and staged, and the entire field lives or dies by what plays in 2 minutes. But this week, something shifted. The demo reel stopped being the unit of evidence. Welcome to Tomorrow Unveiled, where we don't just report what's next, we show you how to evaluate it. This is the story of how the humanoid industry is quietly abandoning the highlight reel and replacing it with something harder to fake. Longitudinal deployment data, uncut third-party production lines, and published failure modes. And for the first time, we can actually check. Think about what a demo reel actually proves. A robot folding laundry in a lab tells you it folded that laundry once, under controlled conditions, possibly on the 10th take. It tells you almost nothing about whether it can do the job Tuesday through Saturday, at speed, next to humans, when a part arrives at the wrong angle. That gap between can do once and does reliably is where nearly every robotics promise has quietly died. For years, the industry had no incentive to close that gap publicly. A demo reel sells the funding round. Deployment data, messy, bounded, occasionally embarrassing, does not. So companies optimized for what investors wanted to see, not what users needed to know. The reel became the standard of evidence because it was the easiest story to tell. But here's what changed this week. The incentive flipped. Companies with real deployments now benefit from showing their numbers, because numbers are the one thing a rival's demo reel can't answer back. A precision figure and a cycle time are falsifiable, in a way a demo never is. A skeptical engineer can look at 5 millimeters in 2 seconds and know exactly what was and wasn't achieved. That's the tell that the conversation has matured. The industry is moving from a marketing standard of evidence to something closer to an operational one, not because anyone mandated it, but because proof became a competitive weapon. And the first company to really lean into that shift is the one with the longest runway and the most to prove. Figure AI's Spartanburg deployment is the anchor. Over nearly a year at BMW's plant, their F02 robots contributed to production of more than 30,000 X3 vehicles. They loaded over 90,000 sheet metal parts before being retired, not as failure, but as generational turnover. The way you replace a tool that did its job. Roughly 1,250 operational hours across 10-hour weekday shifts. Placing metal parts into welding fixtures with 5 millimeter precision in about 2 seconds each. Now, I need to be honest about what this is and what it isn't. 1,250 hours is a rounding error against human labor. This is a narrow, repetitive, well-structured task on one line at one plant. It is not the robot revolution, but it is something the industry has never had before, a published ledger. A company walked away from a deployment and told us the numbers. That matters because it's specific enough to argue with. You can fact-check it. You can look at the numbers and ask whether they're sustainable, whether they scale, whether they point towards something real or something that worked once under perfect conditions. The honest reading holds both halves at once. This is genuine, sustained, real-world industrial work by a humanoid robot. And it is also a small proof point, narrow in scope, limited in application, sitting on top of a massive human infrastructure that made it possible. But it's real. It happened. Here are the numbers to prove it. That's new, and it's the baseline that everything else this week is building on. If Figure's contribution was the retrospective ledger, AGIBOT's was the live version, and the framing was pointed. From June 23rd to 28th, AGIBOT broadcast its wheeled G2 humanoids handling the full quality inspection section of a tablet mass production line at Longcheer Technology in Nanchang. Daily from 8 in the morning to 7 at night. Matched to the plant's normal operating cadence. No cuts, no edits. Let me emphasize that. No cuts, no edits. In an industry built on the demo reel, that choice is almost radical. An edit is where a demo hides its failures. Removing the edit is a claim about having nothing to hide. The company reported its G2 units sustaining throughput of about 310 units per hour at 18 to 20-second cycle times, coordinating with human workers, integrating with the factory's manufacturing execution system. And here's the thing. They explicitly positioned this broadcast against Figure's 200-hour controlled live stream from May. That's the moment the field shifted. Two companies competing not over whose demo is flashier, but over whose proof is more real. One chose a controlled lab environment. The other chose a live third-party production line, Uncut, on the plant's actual schedule. Now, the caveat is important. A live stream is still a chosen window. The task is quality inspection, not the hardest dexterous manipulation. And throughput reported by the company is not the same as independently audited throughput. Uncut is better than edited. It is not yet the same as verified by someone with no stake in the result. But we're getting closer, and that's the direction that matters. Hey, real quick, if you're following along and this is resonating with you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. We're building something here that I think you'll want to see. The most quietly important item of the week came from the smallest player. Swiss startup Flexion released its Reflect V1.0 long-horizon autonomy platform. And in the same announcement, they stated their limits plainly. The system operates within a bounded set of tasks. Some objects remain difficult to grasp. The mission controller can still make wrong assumptions from visual input. Recovery behaviors do not cover every failure mode. Let that sink in for a moment. In an industry built on the demo reel, voluntarily publishing your failure modes is close to heresy. It's exactly the behavior a maturing field should reward. This matters more than the technical release itself. A company that tells you where it breaks is giving you the tool to evaluate it honestly. That's the opposite of the demo reel bargain, where everything is perfect and you're supposed to assume the rest of the world is too. It also models the standard the whole sector needs. Not our robot is amazing. But here is what it does, here is where it fails, judge accordingly. The forward-looking rad is that this is what confidence actually looks like. You disclose your failure modes when you believe your successes can survive the disclosure, when you're not afraid of the truth because the truth is actually on your side. There's a reason the best engineers and the best companies do this. They know that a field competes faster on honest bounded claims than on unbounded staged ones, because bounded claims you can actually build on. They're a foundation. A demo is just a story. And in robotics, we're finally starting to prefer the foundation. But here's the thing. The episode shouldn't smooth over. The proof era isn't unfolding in a vacuum. It has financial deadlines pressing on it. This week saw board approvals across Hyundai Motor, Kia, Mobis, and Glovis on Boston Dynamics' Atlas program, alongside a July 20th deadline tied to SoftBank's put option, and the first real Atlas deployment data emerging from Georgia. The corporate machinery, who owns the robot makers, which boards sign off, what financial instrument comes due when, is now moving in lockstep with the technical proof, and sometimes ahead of it. This is the tension worth sitting with. Deployment data being demanded by the market is good. It's what forces the demo to proof shift. But data being demanded by a put option deadline is a different pressure entirely, one that can just as easily incentivize a rushed or flattering number as an honest one. The same market force that rewards real proof also creates the temptation to manufacture the appearance of it. To find a number that's technically true and practically misleading. To hit a deadline with a result that passes scrutiny on paper but not in practice. The healthy version of this story, so the one the evidence currently supports, is that competitive pressure is pushing companies to show real numbers. The version to watch for is when a financial deadline pushes a company to show a number that's true, just enough to survive the initial read. Both live in the same machinery, and telling them apart is exactly the scrutiny this new era requires. Because the proof standard only works if we actually use it, if we look at the numbers and ask hard questions, if we follow up, if we don't just accept the ledger because it's more respectable than the real. The proof era needs skeptics more than it needs believers. Step back and the week's items rhyme. A retired fleet with published totals, an uncut third-party production line, a startup listing its own failure modes. None of these is a technical breakthrough. No new gate, no new hand, no new model that suddenly makes everything possible. What advanced this week was the evidentiary standard. And that may matter more than any single capability, because a field that can't be lied to is a field that can actually be trusted to scale. For years, the honest critique of humanoid robotics was that you couldn't tell the real progress from the funding theater, the venture-backed hype from the actual engineering. You'd see a demo and have no way to know if it was the 10th take or the 10th robot or a one-off choreography that would never work again. The significance of this moment is that the gap between real progress and funded theater is starting to close, not because the robots got honest, but because the competition made honesty the winning move. Think about what that means. If you're a company trying to raise money or attract customers, you now benefit from showing real numbers. From publishing your failure modes. From running your robots on an uncut production line where everyone can see what actually happens. The old playbook, perfect the demo, sell the dream, worry about deployment later, is starting to lose. Not because anyone decided demos are bad, but because the proof is better. And here's the forward-looking frame, held with its tension intact. This is genuinely good news for anyone who believes physical AI is the direction of history. Because durable progress is built on verifiable progress. The field is finally generating the kind of evidence that survives scrutiny. And it's not yet enough. One line at one plant, one uncut window, one startup's disclosure. These are the first data points, not the trend. The right posture isn't the old skepticism that dismissed every demo, and it isn't the hype that believed every reel. It's the new thing the evidence now makes possible you can actually check. The most important sentence in humanoid robotics used to be, "Look what it can do." This week it started becoming, "Show me what it did." That's a better sentence, and a better industry for using it. If you're watching on your phone, there's a hype button right below the video. Smashing that really helps channels like ours get discovered. So where does this leave us? We're watching the humanoid industry make a choice. Not an explicit one, but real nonetheless. To compete on evidence instead of theater. To measure progress against a standard that's harder to fake. That doesn't mean the robots are suddenly as capable as their advocates claim. It means we finally have a way to check. We can look at the numbers. We can ask questions. We can follow up. The demo didn't disappear. Companies will still make beautiful videos of robots doing impressive things. But the demo is no longer the only story. It's not even the leading one. The leading story is now, here's what happened, here's the data, here's where we failed, here's what we learned. Bounded, honest, verifiable, that's the shift. And it matters not because robotics is suddenly trustworthy, but because trust is finally becoming a competitive advantage. The future isn't going to be built on the best demo. It's going to be built on the best data. And the companies that understand that first are the ones that'll actually get there. Thanks for listening. I'm Kai. Until next time, keep asking for the receipts.
Let the